Good morning. Today we are doing lesson 3.3b, second day of lesson 3.3, solving multi-step equations. Today I didn't tell you what the first step is. We kind of got to figure it out on our own. For example, this first one we're not going to distribute because we don't have any parentheses. However, I do see more than one letter n that we can combine. That 9 and this negative n or negative 1n are on the same side of our equal sign, so we can combine those together. 9 and a negative 1, 9 minus 1 would give us 8n, and then copy the rest. Minus 4 equal to 20. Next, we're really just solving our order of operations backwards. So getting rid of addition and subtraction first. Opposite of subtracting 4 is adding 4. Remember, whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. We have 8n equal to 24. And then the opposite of multiplying is divide. Divide by 8 on both sides. 8 over 8 is just 1, so we have h equal to 24 divided by 8. Well, 8 times 3 is 24. So your answer should be 3. On this next one, though, we do have a little bit more going on here. We have some parentheses that we need to get rid of. We need to multiply. If you can multiply without a box, go ahead. I'm going to use the box to help me multiply. 3 and then y plus 3. 3 times y is 3y. 3 times 3 is a positive 9. So I'm done with those numbers. I have y plus, because this is a positive, 3y plus 9, all equal to 21. So let's continue on. Now that we've distributed, we have, just like this last one, two terms we can combine together. We have this 1y and this 3y. 1y and 3y gives me 4y. Copy the rest. And then undoing our order of operations, getting rid of our adding and subtracting first. I'm going to subtract 9. That eliminates. And we have 4y. 21 minus 9, you guys, if subtracting 9 is difficult, subtract 10. We get 11. And then add 1, should get 12. Because it's not 10, it's 9. Should give us 12. And then last, the opposite of multiplying is dividing by 4. So we get y equals, because those eliminate, 12 divided by 4, which is 3. So y is 3. We're going to do two more questions similar to this. We do have one with decimals. That's okay. Just because it has decimals doesn't mean we treat it any differently. I see parentheses. We always distribute first. I'm going to draw my box to multiply. Be careful though, this isn't just a 2, it's a negative 2. The sign goes with whatever comes after. Then we have 1.3x and then minus 4. So negative times a positive is a negative. 2 times 1.3, we're just doubling it. Doubling 0.3 would give me 0.6. Doubling 1 gives me 2. So that's 2.6x. That's a 6. And then a negative times a negative is a positive. 2 times 4 is 8. So we have 0.5x equal to 4.1x minus 2.6x plus 8. So all I did was distribute and rewrote my equation. I did not write these because we were done with those numbers. Now we have two x's of 4.1 and a negative 2.6. Different signs subtract. 4.1 minus 2.6. I'm going to borrow. 11 minus 6 is 5. 3 minus 2 is 1. So this really makes 1.5x. So now we have a little bit nicer of a problem. They both end in 0.5. We need to get rid of adding and subtracting first. I'm going to subtract 8. Subtract 8. Those eliminate and we get 1.5x equal to, we have a half and we're subtracting 8. This is really 8.0 if you want to make that a decimal as well. There are more negatives, so I know it's going to be a negative. 8 and take away a half, we're still at negative 7 and a half. Use your calculator if you're not sure. And then last we have multiply. The opposite of multiply is divide. We're dividing by 1.5. So those eliminate and we get x. Now this is one where you might actually want your calculator, or you can think of 1.5 and 1.5 give you 3, double that give you 6, and then 7.5. I'm trying to figure out how many times does 1.5 go into 7.5, or just plug it in your calculator and you should get 5. But it's a negative, so it's a negative 5. Alright, last one like this. We have some parentheses. We need to get rid of those by distributing. We have 4 and then m plus 5. So 4 times m is 4m. Oops, this is a 5. It looks like an 8. 4 times 5 is 20. So we're done with those. We have 3 plus 4m plus 20 equal to 31. This is the only m we have, the 4m, but we can combine the 20 with the 3, since they're on the same side. That gives us 23 plus 4m equal to 31. Please make sure you're pausing if you have questions or you're not getting something. Raise your hand to ask. Now getting rid of just our adding and subtracting. This is multiplied. We can't get rid of the 4, so I'm going to get rid of the 23. Those eliminate. We have 4m equal to, well, 3, can't do that. 11 minus 3 is 8. 2 minus 2 is 0, so we just have 8. And then get rid of that multiplying by dividing. So 4 over 4 is just 1. 8 divided by 4 is 2. So hopefully you're getting the hang of solving equations and now multi-step equations. We're going to take a look at slide 3. It says, you are driving to your aunt's house that is 1,500 miles away. Including rest stops, that's important, it takes you 42 hours to get to the vacation spot. You estimate that you drive at an average speed of 50 miles per hour. How many hours were you not driving? So, couple things we know here. We know total, it's going to take us 42 hours to get to the vacation spot. So one thing I would make note of is that total, this is going to equal 42, but this is going to include stopping and driving. You can't drive straight. Let's pretend your aunt lives in Texas. You can't drive straight to Texas without stopping, filling up with gas, eating, sleeping, all that fun stuff. Especially if it's going to take you 42 hours to get there. That's a long time, okay? So, from one spot to the next, it's 1,500 miles away. But they told us that we drive at 50 miles per hour. So we can go 50 miles every hour. So 1,500 miles total. We can actually divide that by how fast we're going, divide by 50 miles per hour to figure out how much time is it going to take us if we're driving this fast the whole time to just drive straight through. I know that's not in reality what will happen, but go with me for a second here. 1,500 miles total divided by 50 miles per hour will tell us how many hours it'll take us to get there. So dividing this, 15 divided by 5 is 3. The 0 divided by 0, 1,000 divided by 10 would give you only 100. So you have 1 0 left over, or 30. You can also plug that in your calculator. So this was 1,500 miles, and going 50 miles per hour. Miles over miles really cancels out and leaves us with 30 hours. So be careful though. We know it's going to take us 30 hours to drive. They want to know how many hours were you not driving. Well, we know the 30 hours driving is right here, so we want to know how many hours were you not driving. I'm going to use S for stopping. We can solve this now. Subtract 30, and the stopping time would be 12 hours. Sorry, my handwriting is not the best here today. So total, we were not driving 12 hours, but we were driving 30 hours. All right, slide 4. It says find the value of x, and they're telling you the perimeter is 24 feet. So perimeter, remember, is adding up all the sides. So we know adding all of them up should give us 24. Don't include our units until the end. We don't really need the parentheses on this because we're not multiplying it by anything. We're adding up all the sides for perimeter. So this is a 1x. I'm going to combine all my x's. 1x plus 4x plus 10x. 10 plus 4 is 14, plus 1 more is 15, so we have 15x. And then just our numbers, a negative 10 and a positive 4. There are more negatives. 10 minus 4 is 6. There are 6 more negatives. So just solve this like your regular equation. Get rid of adding and subtracting. I'm going to add 6. We get 15x equal to now 30. And then divide by 15 on both sides. 15 over 15 is just 1. 15 goes into 30 2 times. So the value of x is 2. All right. Next, 2 things you could do here. You could multiply by the reciprocal, or you can distribute. This one, since both of these numbers in here are multiples of 5, it'll actually work out to be a nice number. So we're going to distribute. I'm going to draw my box to multiply. 3/5, and then 5m plus 15. 3/5 times 5. 5 is really 5 over 1. So 3 times 5 is 15. 5 times 1 is 5. So 15 over 5 is 3. So this is 3, and there's an m there. That worked out nicely. And then same thing with 3/5 times 15. It's really 15 over 1. 3 times 15, think of 15 minutes. 3 of them would give you 45 minutes. 5 times 1 is 5. 45 divided by 5 is 9. So we have 3m plus 9 equal to negative 12. So when we solve this, get rid of adding and subtracting. I'm going to subtract 9. 3m equal to, I'm going to erase this just so I have some more room. All negatives, same sign, add and keep, should be a negative 21. And then get rid of multiplying, we need to divide by 3. M should be a negative 7. I know this was a little bit unique today with some different situations. If you do have questions, please let me know. Otherwise, your homework is lesson